as you can see from the title, I don't know why I'm putting up here, wherever the title may be, we are going to do a slightly different video today. Rather than a weekly vloggy come with me situation, we're going to do a get to know me sit down Q&A. Now, I put a question box up on Instagram a couple of days, 2 days ago now, and basically just said, what questions do you have for me? I've pulled them up. We're going to answer them. I'm really aware that all my social accounts are very work heavy, and I just thought it would be nice just to sit down and actually explain who I am a little bit more. I just thought it'd be nice to do a little get to know me. I don't know why I'm doing this with my hands. I've got my leg up. I'm feeling all cozy. So let's jump into some questions. The first question I definitely have to answer is favourite artist. Now, this is a really tricky one, guys, because I am a bit of a chop and change of who my favourite singer and acts and artist, if you will, is. I'd probably say Rihanna. Rihanna's up there. I'd say at the moment, my current person that I'm chop and changing trending between is Tate McRae. Tate McRae is so talented, and I don't know if that's just because from a dance background, I can see how good she is at dancing. People that can sing doesn't necessarily mean you can dance, and sometimes watching people that can sing try to dance makes me feel really uncomfortable. Obviously, it probably doesn't have that effect on other people, but from a dance background, watching people that aren't dancers dance makes me, it's like nails down chalkboard. It's not for me. So Tate McRae is so talented and can sing, and she's just everything. I love her. She's great. So at the moment, Tate McRae. Probably overall Rihanna. This one, I don't know if this is it's an insult or not, but it just says, do you have acne? Now, the lighting's really bad. My skin is not good at the moment. My skin goes through phases of being, I don't want to say really good, but being good and then being really bad. At the moment, I'm using Skinamy, but my Skinamy is made up of tretinoin. I did use the strongest dose. I've just come down one. And for skincare wise, I do that in the evening. In the morning, I'll do just a normal, I don't know why I'm doing a skincare routine. This is not the question, but I'm just going to tell you anyway. I'll do a normal wash cleanse. I use vitamin C, moisturizer and SPF in the morning. In the evening, it will just be the Skin and Me. And then if it's really dry or red, I'll put moisturizer over the top and underneath to kind of sandwich it, I think they call it. Long story short, I wouldn't call it acne, but I wouldn't call it clear skin. So I would say in the middle. Now this question I've got a definite answer for. Favorite exercise in the gym. My favorite exercise and piece of equipment to use in a gym, a hip thrust machine. Personally, I'm not a fan of barbell hip thrusts. I know, sorry. If I'm going to do a hip thrust, I'd rather do a barbell glute bridge, just because I think proportion wise for me, being up on a bench, I can't get that range of motion that I want to get. So doing it on the floor, it just protects my back a little bit more, and I can focus on my glutes and my hamstrings rather than worrying about my back going a bit funny. But my favorite piece of kit, like I said, is a hip thrust machine. I love them. I think they're great. The only problem at the moment is because I've got this dodgy hamstring, I can't really, I can use them, but not as well as I'd want to. I'm sat on at the moment. I'm not laughing because this is light by any means. It's just compared to what I would normally do. I'm sat on the hip thrust machine and I'm using a 20 or 30 kg on it. And while that is heavy, in the grand scheme of things, before I was doing 200, and so 190 to 200. So to bring it down to 30, to say it's killing my ego, guys, is an understatement. But it's all for the greater good. I think I'd rather do that and be able to rehab my hamstring and get it back than just ego lift and chuck up heavy weights for the sake of it. So hip thrust is my favorite answer, but the machine, my favorite answer is my answer, but the machine, not a barbell hip thrust. What's it like living in Manchester? So anyone that doesn't know, I moved to Manchester just over a year ago now from London. I'm going to be completely honest here. It's been a bit of a shock. I didn't think it would be that different, but it really is. I hear people saying the north and the south is really different and blah, blah. And as someone that's travelled back and forth between Manchester and London for a really long time, I didn't really see it. But living here, I have noticed lots and lots and lots of differences. Now, there's not bad about them all. It's just the way things are done are very different. The thing that always gets me is escalators. Now, I thought this was a universal rule that on an escalator, you stand on the right and you walk on the left. Whether that's in the tube or in a shop or in a Westfield, wherever. I just thought that was the universal rule. Turns out it is not. And people were here just stand in the middle or anywhere, basically. And to say it infuriates me is, like, I'm putting that politely because it makes me so annoyed. And that 100% is a me problem, not anything to do with people here, because, like, why do you need to stand on a certain side, I guess? If it's not a real rule, and Londoners, we've just, like, self-imposed it. But it really gets me going, and it's got to the point where I don't actually use any escalators here. I just use the stairs because it's quicker for me to walk up some stairs than it is for me to stand on an escalator. Like, for me, the point of an escalator, I guess, is to speed things up, which isn't the case for everyone. I know it's for, like, people can't walk up steps and all the different reasons. But for me, an escalator is to make it faster. And if I'm not going faster on an escalator, I'm just going to use the stairs. Like, anyway, long story short, I really do enjoy living in Manchester. It's very different. It's a lot calmer, and, like, everyone is a lot more, like, they take their time with things, as opposed to being in London where everything's a little bit more here, there, everywhere, we're going all the time. So yeah, I'm enjoying it, but it's very, very different to what I'm used to. I don't know why, but it's really hard to sit and talk to a camera. I know this sounds really stupid because obviously it's what I do all the time anyway, but to, like, answer questions about myself, I find really awkward. Whereas, like, to talk about things like fitness things or other people or anything like that, I find like I can do easily. But when I have to talk about myself, it gets really, I don't know what to say. Next question, favorite place to go on holiday. Now, I wouldn't say I've got a favorite place. I don't really tend to go back to the same place. The only place that I've been, like, multiple times recently is Tenerife, and that's just because the place we stayed at was really, really nice, really easy to get to, and we did it last minute, and it was just like a no-brainer. We could just go there and we know it's going to be good. Favorite place that I've been to is probably, I don't know, Rome, maybe? Which is odd because at the time I did like a vlog of Rome. If you want to watch it, you'll understand what I'm saying. At the time of Rome, I was like on a different planet. It wasn't with it. I was so tired. We did like an Italy trip. So Rome was like the tiny portion at the end. And we tried to get everything done in like 3 days. We ended up doing everything in like 1 day because we were so like running all over the place. And then it was a lot, but it definitely, I think it was like the prettiest, and like we had great weather. I think people think of it as a bit of a city break, which obviously it is, but we managed to do some beach before, so I think that really balanced out. Next question, how do you pronounce your dog's name? If I had a penny for every time I was asked this question, guys, it's, just to clarify, it's not a real name. Well, it is a real name now, but we have made this name up. It literally means nothing whatsoever. I have loads of people asking me if it's Thai, if it's like all of these, if it's like Greek even, I think someone said to me once. It's nothing. We've literally made this name up. It's Toki, so it's like toe and then ki, spelled Tohki. That's it. There's not really any fun story behind it. We literally were just like mishmashing names together. I don't know what was wrong with us, but we had a bit of a moment, and then for some reason Toki just stuck. Now her full name is a mouthful. It's Toki O London, Paris, Milan, Hogger, Chomcham. Now, some might say that's ridiculous. I think it suits her really well, and I think she's really lived up to that name. So, what got you into fitness? Now, a bit of a backstory if you don't know this. I started as a dancer. I trained as a dancer. I danced for a little bit. In that whole world, as I'm sure you can imagine, fitness is very much there and present. And when I was at school, we used to have fitness classes, and like throughout everything, there's always been some element of fitness. And it got to the point where we were doing more outreachy dance stuff, and this is going to sound really horrible, I really struggle to teach dance because I don't feel like I was able to break it down enough to be able to teach it. Does that make sense? Whereas then I was looking at ways of how to break things down and how to make things, be able to explain things more to people that weren't perhaps dancers. And the way I started to like reframe and look at things was through a fitness lens. For me, it's so much easier to explain to someone how to do a squat as opposed to how to do a plie. Now, plie, for like anyone that doesn't know, is basically, it means to bend, and it's bending your knees. But there's so many like mechanics behind it to do a plie, as opposed to a squat. I feel like it's so much more ABC. I can kind of give you a step-by-step guide on how to do it well, whereas dance stuff is so much more nuanced and complicated. So I kind of tried to look at things through a fitness lens. And just from there, I was teaching more fitness classes. I then went into working in a gym, and then I became a gym manager and a PT, and it all just went from there. So I think it just kind of came from wanting to learn how to explain things, not just to other people, but also to myself. And I just really enjoyed it and kept doing it. And we're here today, which then actually leads me on very nicely to this next question. What did you struggle with the most when you started the gym? For me, I didn't have a clue. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. The first time I went to the gym, I went actually with my friend and then his friends who had all been training for like a long time. And to put it like, it was intense, guys. Like, they were so lovely. I went to a bodybuilding gym, so I probably wouldn't recommend your first gym experience to be going to a bodybuilding gym. I'd probably go more to like a commercial gym. These people were so lovely. They were so nice. They were teaching me literally everything. They were like, no, like this. And then someone else would come along and be like, no, you should try more like this. And I was very overwhelmed, but I was also very grateful for how much they wanted to teach me. Does that make sense? The thing I struggled with the most was anything glute related. Like, I couldn't do anything, like any squats or lunges or anything, and I wouldn't feel it in my glutes or my hamstrings even. I would only feel it in my quads. But then I did a lot of research about glute growth and how to work the back of your legs. And it was a slow process, but I really feel like it was massively beneficial for me, because I was what people would call quad dominant, and everything that I did, my quads would kick in straight away. Like, I wouldn't ever feel the back of my legs. And that is probably one of the reasons why I tore my hamstring, because my hamstring wasn't strong enough to be able to keep up with what the front of my leg was doing. Obviously, I'm not happy that I tore my hamstring, but actually tearing it made me really dig into how to strengthen it and rehab it and work the glutes and the hamstring. So that was probably the thing I struggled with the most at the beginning. And I think it's the thing I definitely have put the most effort and research into learning and working on as well. And then the next one goes biggest ick. I don't know an ick until I see it. Does that make sense? I can't give you a list of icks, but if someone does something that I go, well, that's giving me an ick. I gave myself an ick yesterday because we went to Pilates and we did Reformer, and we did something, and anyone that's done Reformer will know what I'm talking about, but the handles are like, you can loop them over to the top of the headboard, like near your head. And when I was doing something, my handle came off this little head and made the loudest noise, and that gave me the ick. Like, I gave myself the ick full blown with that. Don't know why. I think it's because I felt like I was doing relatively okay, and then all of a sudden it was like flying and everyone was looking. But anyway, what's your favorite type of training? Tricky question. I would say my favorite type of training, I'm going to do like specifics, it's glutes and legs, which is funny, obviously, because we've just said that's the thing I struggled with and I was learning. But I think because I put so much effort and time into learning it, I now enjoy it the most. Does that make sense in a weird kind of way? That being said, I can't do that at the moment because of the hamstring, which is quite frustrating. Anyway, it's annoying. But I would say glutes and hamstrings are my favorite thing to train. My favorite way of training is high rocks, because like, it's, what is it, like jack of all trades, master of none. I'm not a great runner and I'm not the strongest boy in the room, and I think for me it's like the perfect pair of the two. Obviously, when you do high rocks class, or high rocks is in general, these people are insane. Like, I'm someone that does high rocks because I enjoy them. I wouldn't say it's something that I would ever like podium for, try and do worlds or anything like that. I just do it because I enjoy it. I'll tell you the thing that I really struggle with high rocks. Well, the two things now is the hamstring, which I'm going to keep banging on about in this, and being asthmatic. My heart rate is through the roof. I am really quite asthmatic. So if I forget my inhaler, it's game over. I just can't breathe, to put it simply. Speaking of which, these are all like flowing out at this point. It goes marathon ? I go back and forth daily with this. I'm going to be really honest with you guys. When we did the Birmingham one, there was a half marathon going on at the same time, and there was a point where you turned left to do the 10K and you kept going to do the half marathon. And I kept saying to everyone, like, that is the way that I would do a half marathon. Like, to be in my head thinking I'm doing a 10K and then all of a sudden just take a different turn and keep going. I mentally really struggle with long distances because of the hamstring. I've had shin splints in the past. So all of these things, kind of like niggly things, come up. Again, the asthma. I would love to say I've done it. I wouldn't enjoy the experience. I'm going to be really honest. I don't enjoy running at all. I do the base level of running that I need to do to get what I want out of it. I think I just have to be in a certain head space and also have the time. People that train for a marathon, hats off to you guys, because it is a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of food to get through that marathon training block. At the moment, for me, I'd rather dedicate that time to growing other things like my business and helping my clients as opposed to marathon training. So never say never. I think it will be one of those things that I might do in the future, but not anytime soon, he says. I don't know. Like I said, it changes every day. Ooh, current hyperfixation. I do this with food. I do it with everything. This is, again, completely undiagnosed ADHD, I'm assuming. I will go through phases of really hyperfixating on certain things. Like TV hyperfixation, I guess, is Bob's Burgers. Now, I'm not watching it at all. I think I've probably watched all the episodes. If I've got something on, like, it's that, if that makes sense. Like, if I want to have background noise, or I want to have something on to fall asleep to, it's that. My current hyperfixation food is teriyaki mince and rice. Now, that has been my go-to, like, dinner and lunch and meal prep for quite a while now. So probably it's on the out very, very soon. I go through phases of loving something and then it's gone to me. I did it with soup. I'll do it with eggs. Like, every couple of months, I'll be all about eggs, and then eggs will be dead to me. It's tricky up here, guys. But at the moment, teriyaki mince and Bob's Burgers. I've been sat here talking for like 30 minutes now. That is more than enough questions. I'm probably going to crop these down and get rid of some of the waffly, less interesting questions. But hope you enjoyed this slightly different video today. And hopefully I'll catch you all next week with more vloggy day-to-day life updates.